As GeForce Now continues to expand in 2021, the question is the service still optimal while expanding? As we continue to watch and critique the improvements of GeForce Now, it's always a good idea to benchmark the service to see whether it's up to par or not. We'll be getting the latest benchmark of NVIDIA's premier cloud gaming service, GeForce Now, using an in-game benchmark tool. Ubisoft games usually have an in-game benchmark tool, so we will run this and see the performance on a couple of different games. We also wanted to see whether expanding their services led to use of different PC hardware and performance, so we ran benchmarks on various GeForce Now servers in the US and the EU. Now, I think the biggest question that was on our minds was if the quality was different for all different servers. So the first thing we're going to do is run the same benchmark that we do on the Division 2 on various servers around the US. Now, my default server, my auto server, is US Midwest. We're also going to test US Northeast, US South, and across the pond in Europe at EU Central 4. Now here is the full benchmark at US Midwest, located in Chicago. As you can see, the FPS for me is 125 at 1080p, which is a wonderful stat for me. Here are the stats of the US Northeast benchmark located in Newark, New Jersey. Here are the stats of the US South benchmark located in Atlanta, Georgia. Finally, here are the stats of the EU Central 4 benchmark located in Paris, France. There were some variations of stats among the benchmarks, but overall, they were pretty similar. My auto server is set to US Midwest in Chicago, and that seemed to do the best for me overall FPS-wise. I also noticed that US Northeast can also be set to go to Chicago as well. This is probably because I'm located in Ohio. Now, before we get into the details of hardware used on GeForce Now servers, we also did a benchmark on other games to see if they would be different. They were, but not by much. The most notable difference was the GPU used. Far Cry 5 used an RTX 2060, and Far Cry New Dawn used a surprising GTX 1080. Both did fine on the benchmark, but we were curious on the change in the GPU. We'll have more on that later, but now let's get into the PC hardware specifications. When we did research on the way NVIDIA handles their server information, we found a simple graph with the current layout of their systems. The GPUs listed on their in-game stats box were just a label for the real GPUs used. You'll notice that every Division 2 benchmark has a 2080 label in the stats in the top corner. This means one of the 2080 server profiles is running the game. You'll also note that the 2060B profile is running the Far Cry 5 benchmark, and the 1080C profile is running the Far Cry New Dawn benchmark. We'll get into the hardware, but first, the operating system GeForce Now is running. Microsoft Windows Server 2019 Standard is currently the latest version of the Windows Server software from Microsoft. The standard version is designed to handle physical or minimally virtualized environments. Now, I find it surprising that they are not using the data center version, since that version is better equipped to handle highly virtualized data centers and cloud environments. Now, not too much is known about the Intel CC150 CPU, but it seems to be one of the latest Intel Core i9 processors with 8 cores, 16 threads, and a constant 3.5 GHz clock speed, which that means there's no turbo boost. NVIDIA seems to be one of the first major corporations to utilize the CPU. You can compare this CPU to the performance of a desktop Intel i7-9700K that renders power at an i5-9500 power rate. Note that this CPU is available for all profiles except for the 1080C profile. The 1080C profile uses a different CPU altogether. The Intel Xeon E5-2697 version 4 is an 18-core, 36-thread processor that has a clock speed of 2.3 GHz with a turbo speed maxed out at 3.6 GHz. This is the lowest CPU tier in the GeForce Now lineup. This is about equivalent to what Vortex is running on their systems. For the GPU, when they refer to the Tesla T10, we believe they mean an upgraded version of the Tesla T10, since the original Tesla T10 is 12 years old, released in 2009. We don't have any information on the new Tesla T10, but we do have information on the NVIDIA Grid RTX T10-8. Now, the RTX T10-8 uses the TU102 GPU, which utilizes the Turing architecture. This means that ray tracing is possible. We also know that the RTX T10-8 is a workstation graphics card designed to handle multiple users at one time, so it would be safe to say that the new Tesla T10 is as well. Now, the Tesla T10 is the highest GPU GeForce Now is using at the moment, while the Tesla P40 is the lowest. Both the Tesla T10 and the RTX T10-8 use the latest Turing technology, but the Tesla P40 uses the last generation Pascal technology. You can compare the Tesla P40 to that of a GTX 1070 performance-wise. Now, how is all of this hardware handled? Well, NVIDIA has given us detail on their infrastructure. The NVIDIA RTX server is their next generation cloud gaming server that is specifically designed to render and stream even the most demanding of games. This powerful server can pack 40 NVIDIA Turing GPUs into a very small form factor space to fit on the server. With this amount of power, it is possible to enable up to 160 PC games to run at the same time, even more on mobile. Now, expect the server class Ampere GPUs, the RTX 3000 line, to be released sometime soon, so look out for those. These hardware profiles are some of the best in the business when it comes to cloud gaming. These specs get closer and closer to competing with Stadia. As of now, they beat out any other pick-up-and-play cloud gaming service. We'll be watching thoroughly on GeForce Now improvements and how it compares with all the other cloud gaming platforms available. If you like this benchmark of GeForce Now, feel free to give us a like. Also, don't forget to subscribe to get the latest news, gameplay, and comparisons on cloud gaming at the only place we can do battle in gaming heaven, Cloud Gaming Battle.